Nice dress.
Thank you.
Well, nice dressing out.
Yeah. Okay. A specter is haunting the United States at this very moment. The specter of capitalism. All the powers of the lower and middle class of this country have entered into a holy alliance to exercise this specter. But only with your help can we succeed.
It's a specter.
Specter just means like a ghost. What I'm talking about here, all of you guys, to my knowledge, none of you are really rich, right? So all of us one day hope to, have people work for us, not us work for someone else. How can we plan on doing that if we don't support local business? How can we plan on doing that when we just support, these big corporations, these big things that have nothing to do with local business? I want to introduce to you guys a little term. Can I get the lights, please? Wow. Thanks. I've never used this thing, so yeah. First of all, there's a little term I want to introduce to you guys. It's called hegemony. Hegemony means the dominance of one group over other groups, with or without the threat of force. The reason I bring this term up is because it applies to everything. It's actually really good that I had John and Mike go right before my speech, because a little bit of what they talked about goes with what I'm talking about. For example, when Mike was talking about music, the RIAA, I got this little thing with the Internet Supporting Artists and Consumers since 1952. He told you a little bit about how much the record industry has been screwing over artists and consumers. And Clear Channel is a company that owns 1,220 stations in 250 markets nationwide. Now, I've lived all over the country, as you guys may know, and I can tell you, sometimes you go to Miami, you go to here in Portland, you go to Los Angeles, and you're hearing the exact same music on every single station. Why? Because of Clear Channel. Clear Channel is absolutely dominating the entire music market. Clear Channel, and that's not even just the music market, they also own 37 TV stations and nearly 1 million billboards across the United States. So they're dominating things. As a filmmaker, this is pretty important for me, and for anybody who wants to get into film. Phil back there, I know you wanted to get into film. You got your theater thing going on, you're an actor. So, Hollywood. If you go anywhere in the world, everyone is familiar with Hollywood. Everyone knows, oh, big Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone knows, all these big movie stars. But a lot of countries like Greece, I actually have a friend of mine who's in Greece, and I was talking to him recently. He's like, dude, this is amazing. We don't have, there's no real local flavor. Everything is just dominated by Hollywood. And I mean, you can imagine that internationally, imagine it domestically. I talked to you guys a little bit before, can you get the lights again, please? About domestic product and how that hurts us and how it hurts us and how it helps us. So what can we do really to fix this problem? What can we do to fight these big corporations? What can we do to fight this huge problem that we have, to support these local people, to support people that are trying to come up and do something for themselves? You gotta think local. Now what I mean by think local is I've talked previously about shopping at a local store as opposed to a really big one. When you go to a local store, now I'm saying you shouldn't necessarily always abstain, like I'm not going to go to Walmart or anything like that. I've talked before about how Walmart can be pretty good for the economy. However, when you go to a Walmart, you can always buy the product that is made by a smaller business. Even if it is sold by a big retailer, you can't avoid a big retailer. I mean, sometimes if you're stuck in the middle of, BFE, Arkansas, you're not going to be able to do much other than go to a Walmart or go to a Target and buy a CD there. But you can buy a small artist that's trying to come up in the world, a small independent movie that's trying to come up in the world. So you got to think local. And by that, of course, I mean buy local. Portland is really great because we have so many things that are originated from here. We have so many bands, we have so many films, so many filmmakers, so many people that are trying to come up and make a name for themselves. And this is such a great thing about our country. You know, my parents, they came here from Cuba, and they were in a society where you couldn't choose your profession. Your profession was chosen for you. We live in a country where we can choose what we can do, where we can make a name for ourselves, we can make a living for ourselves. And these are the people that are trying to do that. So when you buy local, you're supporting those people. And finally, be local. What I mean by that is that you can check out the arts and music scene here in Portland. I showed you how many bands we had going on here. We had 50 artists that came from Portland. A few of them are pretty big. The Shins are pretty big. Elliott Smith, well, he was pretty big. The Decemberists, well, he still is pretty big, but you know. The Decemberists are big. I listened to a lot of bands before I came here just because I like the whole small indie music kind of thing. That's part of what attracted me to come here. You can pick up a Portland Mercury or Willamette Week every week or wherever you can. You can find out more about what's going on, not just local politics, but also what to do. I know that when this semester started, a lot of you guys were talking about, oh, I don't think there's really a whole lot to do in Portland. Pick up a Portland Mercury. It's right there. There's so many things to do every day, every week. You can, what today is it? Wednesday? There's stuff to do Wednesday night in Portland, which a lot of people did not realize. And it's all right there. When you go to shows, you get to know people, you get to connect, it doesn't take a lot of effort, trust me. And you'll find not just a great network of people to get to know, but a whole other world and a great experience knowing that you're contributing to a great cause. So anyways, I paraphrased the beginning of this speech from a pretty famous or infamous manifesto which talked about hegemony present in the world at the time. A similar crisis that we now face with corporate and media hegemony.
Got a cut.
You gotta cut me?
Yeah.